Hello, hello. This is Cedric George with another episode of Can We Talk? Sorry, talk about it. Can We Talk is my YouTube channel. That's some advertising right there. So, overall, just a little check-in. Things have been pretty decent. I think that I kind of want to get in the habit of journaling in order to keep track of my mental states because they fluctuate, and sometimes I'm like in a pretty good mood. Things are managing pretty well, pretty happy with the things around me. And then I get into these states of like detachment. And I've kind of tried to figure out as to why these states come up. My current theory is that when I'm not taking time to explore new things, I think that's where like my new energy comes from, you know? Like, let's say like listening to podcasts, watching videos, meeting new people. Like I get a lot of energy from that, and this energy that I talk of, so that it's not so like woo woo. It's literally like desire. It's like curiosity. Let's see, curiosity. Obviously, desire to try and see new things. New topics to discuss with other people, like stuff like blows my mind. Then I'm like, holy shit, dude, like da da da, and like it's like that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I haven't really been doing too much of that. Lately, I've been playing League of Legends and watching Vikings, which is a pretty cool show. This guy named Ragnar Lothbrok, he has a pretty cool personality, but I feel a little sorry for the guy. Favorite character is Floki. I like his name, first of all, and I don't know, he just has a weird demeanor about him, which I relate with. So, overall, I think that I need to like get back into watching videos. I've been consuming like a lot of like political content, pretty concerned about where our country is heading, and I want to say some of the stuff that Biden is doing, but here's what I'll say: some of the stuff that I hear about the Biden administration doing, and it doesn't look very promising for Americans. So that's a little bit concerning. So that's kind of had me in like a mental state as I'm kind of watching this America that has been so stable, apparently, turn into something a little different. So it's a little concerning, especially with consideration for like me and who I am. Obviously, growing up in the city, from Cali particularly, so like pretty liberal-minded. You know, not very set on like, oh, like revolution. We need to fix da da da. We need to, you know what I mean? Like none of that stuff exactly comes up in California. It's more just like everybody smoke weed. Let's be chill and be who you want to be and don't infringe on anybody's feelings, you know? But I mean, it's not very feasible. It doesn't seem to match well with like patriotism. And I don't mean patriotism in like the old-fashioned sense, which seems to be attached to patriotism, which I think is dangerous. I think patriotism in terms of like, hey, we as a country have something here, something valuable that we've maintained, and maybe we should continue to maintain it. You know, like regardless of like where stuff came from, like, oh, well, Columbus Day was George Washington, this was founded on, well, dude, like, okay, that stuff happened, and it's all part of our history, our collective history. There are some bad things that happened in history. There's no way around that. We're not going to omit all of the bad, which, by the way, some of it led to the good. I can't point to any examples, but I mean, do you think that's true? Because I feel like most people would, you know? Like, a lot of the stuff that did arise, and become America, well, I mean, it is what it is. You know, like, it is what it is. So, I feel like Yeah, I feel like there needs to be like a new message taught, not so much focused on America's a terrible place and all the terrible things that we've done to other countries and how bad and negative we are. And because it seems to support the message that we need to tear this place down and we're such terrible people and other countries do it better than us, and well, basically messages like that, which I think are pretty like destructive to our country, because it, like, those people who seem to be tooting that message, there's some that are actually like going for change, and then there's some who are just once again repeating the message of like how terrible this country is. And I think that leads to a bunch of people who are not willing to fight to maintain, let's say, freedom of speech that I feel is being subtracted from. Like the what's it called? The ability to own guns. In California, dude, I was like, dude, like, fuck guns. Like, we don't need these. Like, why are these? You know what I mean? Like, why would you need guns? You know? Yeah, like I would never run into a deer. I didn't grow up in a family that was like hunting or anything like that. And I only learned, I guess, recently that there actually are people who hunt in Northern California. I thought that was just not a California thing, but it is. Anyway, so I was like, why would people need guns? You know, like, all I see is gang violence with them. Like, it's not very beneficial. But then you see what's going on in Australia, where this whole vaccine mandation thing has gotten pretty out of control, pretty serious, where guys are being arrested for not wearing their mask, or like being seen as like criminals for being in an elevator and sneezing and coughing, which I understand. Like, I understand that can be dangerous to people. However, did those, like, alright, well, I didn't really want to go into the vaccine topic, but I understand that can be dangerous to people. But the fact is that if you're vaccinated, then you probably don't have to worry about it, because it decreases your chances of being hospitalized. Chances are anybody in this world is going to end up catching COVID. You know, you can't really just force a bunch of people to not catch COVID ever. I think they tried that in the western part of Australia. I think they closed off a whole area or something like that. Nobody caught COVID. Everybody could go to sports games and whatnot. I think somebody did end up going in there who had the Delta variant or something like that. But anyway, long story short, Australia I guess they had to give up their weapons, to my knowledge, you know, so they don't have weapons over there to really like fight back against a government that tries to enforce certain policies. But we as Americans, we do, you know. So this vaccine mandate thing is not quite going over well, because, I mean, well, we have the capability to at least defend ourselves. I think that's a huge part. We preach a lot about freedom, and I mean, that's what we strive for. And like, once again, like, we go back to, well, America doesn't teach freedom, you know, like, America doesn't represent freedom. Well, like, I'm sure in some ways that might be true, and obviously in some ways that might be false. I think that there might be other countries out there that have a lesser sense of freedom compared to what we have. But I do like the fact that freedom is something that we can strive for. You know, it's an ideal that we can work toward. So in terms of like the vaccines, for example, like forcing people to get vaccines, like there are people who have gotten the vaccine, who support the vaccine, cool, 100%. There are people who don't believe in the vaccines, don't trust it at all, 100%. But the connecting line between the two of those is the choice to go and get the vaccine. Either you choose to get it or you choose not to, you know? And that should be up to an individual person who's willing to take into account, like, hey, I don't want to get vaccinated because XYZ reason, or I don't want to get vaccinated because, you know what I mean? Like, that should be a choice. And that's kind of what I think America is able to take their ground and stand on. Not very firmly, apparently. Like, I feel like this stuff is happening and not really much is being done about it. I hope to hear that something is being done about it, but... And then there's also, like, part on me, like, I'm like, yo, like, what the hell am I doing? You know what I mean? Like, what exactly am I doing to go against this whole vaccine mandate that seems to be infringing on freedoms, and how much am I willing to give to fight back against that? So there's that. And then there's also, I mean, just personally, like I've kind of been I've been like pondering over this idea of being a man, what that means, what that represents. And like obviously, you know, you're taught growing up that being a man is like not having feelings, being tough, you know, like, so this is the toxic masculinity that people talk about. And then I learned later on that being a man is more so like just being a provider. Obviously, like still taking into account emotions, being sensitive, being aware, just taking more stuff into account, you know, having a pretty level head about many of the decisions that you make. Like that's kind of what I think about. And being willing to stand your ground for things that you would believe. I guess that kind of comes with it, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, that's been something that I've been thinking about. But yeah, so this whole long rant to basically say that I've been thinking of stuff. I need to take more time to get more engaged in the world around me because I've been like kind of isolated. And obviously like I isolate myself, you know. And just exactly where our country is going. I know I got off on a tangent. There's probably like a bunch of things inside this video that I brought up but didn't cover all the way, so I guess while I got time, I'll try to backtrack. But yeah, I talked a little bit about Cali. So yeah, guns are important. Alright. They help us to maintain our freedom, I feel like. Helps us to not just be told what to do and then have to comply, or else scary government's gonna come and get you. You know, like I don't think that we want too much freedom inside of our government's hands, especially when I feel, have started to see how much we can trust the government, which, I mean, personally, I guess I'm not going to say we, but personally, I mean, I don't have a lot of faith in them, you know? I was proud to see that in Florida, and I think Texas, that there were governors who actually stood up for the whole vaccination thing. I think that a lot of what actually got me curious and, you know, like, even considering politics is actually COVID and just the way that it's being handled. Before this, I mean, there was no point in really paying attention to politics because it didn't seem to affect me anyway. There are probably other people who feel the same way. You know, when you're forced to put something inside of your body and then it's like, okay, wait a minute. Like, who the fuck is doing this and why do I have to do it? Like, I caught COVID already. I have natural immunity. Why do I have to get vaccinated? You know? I mean, just to cite a source, I guess that there are studies that have been done that prove that natural immunity is more effective than these vaccines, hence why there's so many booster shots. You know? Felt like Donald Trump talking right there. Isn't that crazy? Not that he's a bad or good guy. I was just saying, objectively, that was how I felt. But anyway, yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. Just understanding some good old stuff. But yeah, hope you guys are doing well. I mean, the world's not all bad, you know. There's still, one sec. There's still Sheetz Coffee, you know what I mean? Like, how bad can life be when you still got Sheetz Coffee? Go right over there, get you a nice cup of Sheetz Coffee, you know. Fall leaves out here, rain coming in a little bit, you know how it goes. And, yeah, man, hair's looking crazy, you know. That's that hermit life right there, you know how it goes. But yeah, so overall, you guys stay strong. Hope to hear from any of you guys, and I bid thee adieu. Bye.